How can Chat GPT be used to create more efficiency in your business? And how can it create more lead generation for you? That's what we're talking about today. And I want to be sure and give you the date. It is February 22nd of 2023. In case you are listening to this much later, I know anything when you talk about tech, it's good to put a date on it because things are always moving fast and progressing. But this is where we're at right now, today. And I want to share with you some tips to make it your business life a lot easier. I'm Jen Argue, and I have been leading masterminds for the past 5 years for 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs. And I would love to help you start your own mastermind as well, so that you can create a really big impact with those around you and work a lot less and make a lot more at the same time. If you are watching this, you might notice I have on a different outfit than I did when I did my intro. Apparently, when I paused the video before I went into the podcast recording, I forgot to hit record. So it is the next day, and I am going to re-deliver or deliver for the first time for you all the juicy steps of how to create more efficiency and more lead generation with your AI. And just to be clear, today is February 22nd, 2023, because we know technology is changing faster than the speed of light. And I want to make sure if you are listening to this later on, whether it's 2 weeks later or 2 years later, you can put into context what we're talking about today as being relevant to today. So what I see as a killer combination for creating lead generation in your business is using a combo of 2 or 3 different AI platforms. The first that I would suggest going to is either UberSuggests or to Answer the Public. When you go to those websites, you can plug in keywords that are specific to your industry. And by doing that, you are going to find out what people are searching for regarding your industry, what is trending right now. Because when you create content around that, you are more likely to get ranked higher. And when we rank higher, we have a bigger possibility of getting seen, which is part of lead generation. I'm going to share with you that I am totally sold out on SEO. I get probably a third of my clients from Google searches. And so I know the power of really good SEO. And so if you want to start out with an SEO mindset as far as creating your content, go to those websites first, either UberSuggest or Answer the Public. And that way you can put in the keywords for your industry and find out what is trending as far as what people are searching for and use the keywords that come up. So starting off with keywords is a great way to really be intentional with having good SEO with your content. When your SEO is good, it means that you are sharing something that people want to know about. And when people want to know about that, they're more likely to talk about it on their social media. They're more likely to share it with their friends and to link to it in things that they create. So definitely use the keywords first to drive your content creation, and that will help your lead generation. Now, let's talk about efficiency. When it comes to efficiency, Chat GPT is a really great tool. And I know there are other tools out there as well, but really think about Chat GPT. Now, there's the free version and as of recently, a paid version if you want to pay for it, what you're paying for is speed and to basically cut in front of the line. If you don't pay for the Chat GPT, you can still use it, but you might get slower result times. It might take longer. It might not be available. It's giving priority first to the people who are paying for it. Now, there are other tools out there as well. In fact, happening very rapidly as I speak, that there are a lot of platforms that are creating their own AI, such as I believe Canva is, I believe Later, the social media scheduling platform. And I assume many other social media scheduling platforms will be incorporating their own versions of AI, as well as other platforms that have existed for a while and people have been subscribing to for a while, like Jasper and other platforms. Just Google it and you will find a plethora of options. But I'm just going to focus on Chat GPT. And what you can do is just generalize what I'm talking about there with other platforms if you prefer other platforms. So what you want to do is start out with number one, taking those keywords that you got from Answer the Public and UberSuggest, put those into your Chat GPT, into the Ask a Question part. And what Chat GPT does is it creates this kind of knowing thread. So if you keep plugging questions or prompts into the question bar, it's going to remember what you asked previously and what you were talking about previously. So that's going to remain as part of the context of the answers that it gives you. Now, you will hear a lot of people say, and it's true, that the quality of your answers are determined by the quality of your question. That's actually a quote from some brilliant person. I'm sorry, I can't think of who it is right now. If you know, put it in the comments. But the same is true for Chat GPT. The results you get are really determined by the quality of your prompts. And there are actually better prompt generating software coming out very rapidly. So pretty soon we're going to even see that on the market. But for now, take your keywords that you got from your first search in the other two platforms, bring it into ChatGPT, and then go from there. What you can do is you can start off by asking, what kind of title would you make for these keywords for a blog or a podcast? And then let it generate. You can just ask generally. You can ask for a certain number. You could say, give me 5 blog titles, or give me 100 blog titles, or 500, whatever. You can just put in there a number if you want to do that. If you just ask without a number, you can keep asking it, can you give me more? Can you give me more? Can you give me different ones? And you can keep playing with it like that to come up with blog titles that are indicative of the keywords that you gave it. And then once you have your titles, you can ask it for an outline. So let's say you pick one of the titles. You could say, give me an outline for this title for a blog post. And then it will generate for you an outline of that blog post or podcast or whatever form of content that you want to put out. And then after you get the outline, some people ask for it to actually fill it in. I actually prefer, since it is my industry and I know it best, I like to fill it in myself. And I might even tweak the outline because, listen, we know our industry is better than anybody, even better than an AI platform. And so all this is doing, it is getting rid of that first step of going from 0 to 1, right? It's that staring at a blank page. When we stare at a blank page, that can take forever. It's like being in a stuck mode. Well, this eliminates the stuck mode. And it does one step better. It actually is giving you a very qualified strategy for using AI and creating very strategic content. So this gets rid of that stuck mode from going from 0 to 1. and gets you past that first step. And for me, just coming up with an outline is typically good enough. And here's some things to know about AI generated content. Number one, it is not always trustworthy. Okay. All it is doing is it is putting together knowledge that is out there. And we know from what we know about the internet that not everything on the internet is true. And so we want to fact check. We want to trust our gut, trust our knowledge and experience against what AI is saying. So always, always use your judgment in discerning whether the content it is giving you is accurate, is right, in any sense for what you know to be true. And so always use your discernment and your judgment. And also, there have been reports about content that is AI generated being plagiaristic as well, like just lifting from people's content that is already out there. So we want to be careful with that. There are AI platforms that also test for plagiarism. Now, I'm going to go on a little sidebar here and say I've heard a lot of people worry about like Google banning AI generated content if it detects it, all this type of stuff. I just say, let's not focus on that. Let's not focus on that scarcity minded topic. And let's instead focus on abundance and what is good. And what is good is what you are doing to optimize your content. So again, by using this AI generated content and strategy, what we're doing is we are increasing our efficiency and our lead generation by really focusing on SEO backed strategies. So again, we're at the point we are talking about our outline. From there, I'm going to tell you what I like to do. I like to take the outline and then just create my own content based on that outline. Of course, I'll tweak it if I want to. I'll put in first person stories. I'll put in my experience with things and what I know to be true. And so after I have created that content, and by the way, when you are creating your content, we were talking about optimizing. Think about what Google really likes. Google really likes the content that is out there. It's going to rank content higher that has expertise, it has experience, it has authority, and it has trustworthiness. Some kind of content displays those four qualities. Google is going to rank it higher. And basically, that's not something that AI at this point can generally create. So that is going to make you stand out. It's going to make your content rise to the top. And that's what we want. So we're focusing on how to get our content to rank high. We're not focusing on getting Google banned or AI banned or whatever it is. Okay, we're focusing on optimization here and what we can do to create better output into this world, make this world a better place, and to really make your business and your brand shine. Okay, so back to the outline. Once you have that content created, then what you would do next with Chat GPT is put the transcript of your blog or your podcast into Chat GPT. Once it is in there, then you can ask it to create, let's say, 5 social media posts based on that blog. And then you can ask it to create a short form email or a long form email based on that blog. Then you can ask it to create the subject line for that blog or that email. And then you can have it create, let's say, Facebook ad copy for that content. There are so many different things. Or you can even ask it to create specifically a Facebook post. I have seen ChatGPT actually put in emojis into a request for a Facebook post, which I thought was pretty clever. Of course, the copy wasn't that interesting, but again, go back into what it generates for you for the social media posts, for the emails, for the Facebook ad, and let it take you from 0 to 1, and then you take it from 1 to 5 or whatever you see as the ideal catchy content. The point in all of this really is to make sure what you're doing is very strategic. We never want to be just creating content just for the sake of creating content, right? We want to be creating content that moves needles in our business, that moves the dial towards either creating a larger audience or nurturing our audience or converting our audience into customers. We want it to go out with a specific purpose. And so making sure when we are using AI generated content that we are really purposeful in why we are doing it and how we're doing it. So when it generates it, go through, tweak it, put your own voice, put your own stories, put your own experience, your own statistics that you have into that content, make it pop, make it stand out. And that is truly, I see, one of the best ways to use AI to both create efficiency in your business because you can do a bunch of it all at once, keep moving, and it's very strategic with lead generation, with helping you rank with better SEO. If you found this helpful, I hope that you would share it with somebody that you know or on your social media. And I would love it if you would also leave a review. And please leave a comment too. I want to know, how are you using AI for efficiency and lead generation in your business? Share your ideas in the comments and let's help each other out. Thanks so much for watching. If you found value in this, please subscribe to my channel and share it with a friend.